Assalamu alaikum dear students, welcome back to GVI digital classes. In our previous lecture, we were discussing the basis of a classification, and in our today's lecture, we are continuing with the same, that is the basis of a classification of kingdom Animalia. Dear student, we have already discussed the basis like the body organization, like the body plan, like the presence or absence of a body cavity. Here, in today's lecture, we are going to study the another basis of a classification, and that is the presence and absence of the notochord. Now, the question here is, what is this notochord? Students, when we talk about the term notochord, the term here means a rod structure which lies dorsally between the dorsal hollow nerve cord and the gut. I'm repeating it once again. When we talk about the notochord, it is a rod-like structure which is present dorsally between the nerve cord and the gut. Students, now, on the basis of a presence and absence of this notochord, we have the two categories of the animals which possess this notochord and the animals which have the absence of this notochord. Students, the animals which have the presence of this notochord are known as chordates, and which have the absence of this notochord are known as non-chordates. I'm repeating it once again. On the basis of a presence and absence of the rod-like structure which extends between the nerve cord and the gut, we have the notochord, and on the basis of a presence and absence of this notochord, we have the chordates and we have the non-chordates. Now let's move to the another basis of a classification. And that is the presence and absence of different type of germ layers. Dear students, आप सब लोगों ने 10th class में the topic of reproduction was there. And when we talk about the sexual reproduction, we say it's the process where there is the formation and the fusion of gametes. And those two gametes are the ova and sperm. And when we extend the process of reproduction, when we go further through the process of reproduction, we say that here the fusion of ova and sperm takes place and results the formation of a single cell with the two nuclei. And the single cell is known as the zygote. Then this zygote undergoes the number of mitotic divisions, which is known as a cleavage, and forms a mass of cells. The mass of cells is known as a blastula. This mass contains two important types of cells depending upon their size. There are the cells which are smaller in size, and there are the cells which are larger in size. The smaller ones are known as the micromeres, and the larger ones are known as macromeres. I'm just giving a slight idea. Then after the formation of these two important types of cells, they show the morphogenetic movement, that means a genetically controlled morphological movement of cells, particularly the macromeres, takes place and results in the formation of three important germ layers. And those germ layers are ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Now, on the basis of three important germ layers, whether they are present three, तीनों के तीन present है या एक present है या दो present है, कितने क्या present है, we have the classification of animals. There are certain animals which possess only two germ layers, that means an ectoderm and endoderm, and those animals are known as diploblastic animals. The animals which possess only the presence of two important germ layers, that means ectoderm and endoderm, they are known as diploblastic animals. And the animals which have the presence of all the three germ layers, that means ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, they are known as triploblastic animals. The thing is germ layers. We have the triploblastic animals and we have the diploblastic animals. Triploblastic animals possess all the three germ layers, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, and the diploblastic animals possess only two germ layers, that is ectoderm and endoderm. Now, let us move to the another level of a classification, another basis of a classification. And the basis is segmentation. Dear students, when you talk about the segmentation, it can be different as the division of an organism into the distinct portion or into the distinct segments. Those segments are particularly known as metamers. Now, dear students, we have certain animals where the organism is divided both internally as well as externally. That means the internal division corresponds to the external division. That means the internal segments correspond to the external segments. And that sort of a segmentation is known as metameric segmentation. That means here the organism is divided both externally as well as internally. This can be seen in annelids. And there are certain animals which have the segments, but those segments are only the external one, the internal one are absent. And the main important thing is that those segments do not have the embryonic origin, as we can see in case of tapeworms. And that type of a segmentation is known as pseudo-metameric segmentation. I'm repeating it once again. Metameric segmentation, both internal and external. And when we talk about the pseudo-metameric segmentation, that means only the external divisions are there. The internal ones are not there, and these also do not have embryonic origins. So, dear students, on the basis of the presence of having the different type of segments, we are those which have the true segments, which have the embryonic origin, and the body is divided both internally as well as externally, is known as a metameric segmentation. And in case of a pseudo-metamerism, pseudo-metameric segmentation, here only the external divisions are there, and they do not have an embryonic origin. Now, let us move to the another basis of a classification, and that is the cephalization. Dear students, when we talk about the cephalization, it means presence of a distinct head, the head that possesses the different type of a sensory organs, and that possesses a different type of a receptor, that possesses a brain as well, that possesses a different type of sensory organs, and that possesses a different type of a brain, a different type of a neurons as well. That is known as a cephalization. That means head prominence is there. The prominent head is there, which possesses the nerves, which possesses the neurons, as well as the sensory organs. That means we have the animals where the distinct head will not be there, and we will have to discuss the animals where the distinct head, where the distinct cephalization, the presence of a prominent head is there. Now, let us move to the different type of physiological systems that animals are possessing. That means we are going through the another basis of a classification, that is the different type of physiological systems. First of all, let's go through the digestive system. स्टूडेंट्स, जब हम डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम की बात करते हैं, हमारे पास दो कैटेगरीज है एनिमल्स की. एक कैटेगरी ऐसी है जहां पे द एनिमल पोजेसेस अ कंप्लीट डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम. We have the another type of animals which possess the incomplete digestive system. The complete digestive system means the system where the organism possesses a well-developed alimentary canal, a tube, the tube which possesses the two openings, one for the intake of a food and another for the expulsion of an undigested matter. That means alimentary canal is well developed. And when we talk about the incomplete digestive systems, the incomplete digestive system means a system where the organism possesses a single opening, and the single opening do both the function of a mouth as well as ends. Dear students, we also have the different type of animals on the basis of this digestive system performing the process for digestion in two ways. There are the certain animals which perform the extracellular digestion, and there are certain animals which perform the intracellular digestion. The extracellular digestion means the process of a digestion takes place outside the cells. And where does it take place? It takes place within the alimentary canal. And when we talk about the intracellular digestion, here the process of digestion takes place inside the cells. For example, students, you might have read the process of a digestion in case of amoeba, how it engulfs the food within the cell and digested it. That means on the basis of a digestive system, we have the complete one, we have the incomplete one, we have the extracellular digestion, and we have the intracellular digestion. Now, let us move to the another physiological system, and that is respiratory system. Dear students, we have the classification of the different groups of animals on the basis of having the different type of respiratory systems. There are certain animals which respire through the general body surface. And that sort of a respiration is known as body surface respiration. Students, there are certain animals which respire through skin. That is known as cutaneous respiration. Students, there are certain animals which respire through the presence of having a specific type of a tubus, and that is known as tracheal respiration. There are certain animals which respire through gills, and that is known as bronchial respiration. There are certain animals which respire through lungs, and that is known as pulmonary respiration. Students, that means we have the different type of animals. There are certain animals which possess the body surface respiration, some possess the cutaneous respiration, some possess the tracheal respiration, some the bronchial respiration, and some the pulmonary respiration. Now, let's move to the another physiological system, and that is the circulatory system. जब हम सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम की बात करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, हम देखते हैं वी हैव द एनिमल्स विच possess the two different type of a circulatory systems. There are the certain animals which possess open type of a circulatory system, and there are the animals which possess the closed type. जब हम open type की बात करते हैं, here the organisms possess the system, this system में the blood does not flow through the veins, does not flow through the capillaries. That means tubes are not there. The blood have a direct communication with the cells, with the tissues. That means the tissues directly bath within the blood. That means here the blood is then present within the spaces, and those spaces are known as lacunae. Those spaces are known as sinuses. That means the animals which possess the open type of a circulatory system, the blood flow within the spaces, and those spaces are known as lacunae, and those spaces are known as sinuses. And when you talk about the closed type, the name itself here says that it is the system where the blood flows through the specific tubes, and those tubes may be arteries, veins, and capillaries. The tubes are there, and they may be arteries, veins, and capillaries. Students, we are here discussing the basis of a classification, and here we are discussing the different physiological systems. The system we have already discussed is the digestive system, respiratory system, and the circulatory system. Rest of the systems will be discussed in another video lecture. That's all for me. Thank you very much.